Successful people often do what failures dislike. Everyone lives according to their habits. Some affect your life, but there are also those that directly impact your wallet. Most of the time, people don't realize the negative financial habits that repeatedly deprive them of any chance of success. I believe it's possible to get rid of bad financial habits and replace them with good ones. This is the only way to increase the amount of money in your life. So if you want to know more, keep watching this video and comment like this: "I will get rich." When I see your comment, I'll give it a little heart because I know you'll be rich soon. I live quite modestly. I still live in a house I bought for 25,000 reais in 1957. I prefer regular transportation over a private plane and play bridge instead of billiards. It's this unexpected combination of immense wealth and a simple life that attracts worldwide interest. I chose my own path, and no one bothered me at 5 or 6 in the morning. Besides, I've always enjoyed reading. My aunt gave me the World Almanac, which I still have, and I read my first investment book in my father's office. To this day, I dedicate 5 to 6 hours daily to reading. The decline in business in the second half of the 20th century taught me a lot. Furthermore, I tirelessly monitor market trends and willingly share some valuable advice to help people tread the path to wealth. When it comes to making money, timing is the most important factor. You don't need to be very smart. You just need patience. Have you ever imagined uncovering the secrets of the world's greatest minds with no effort? It may sound incredible, but now it's a reality with our kit of 100 summarized books, including audiobooks and PDFs of the most valuable parts. Learning has become more accessible than ever. Don't miss this opportunity. Get your kit by clicking the first link in the description. I want to draw your attention to the monetary habits that I actively use. A healthy habit can easily become the foundation of your wealth, even if your wallet is currently empty. The first habit is to spend wisely. At first glance, it may seem trivial, but according to statistics, more than 65% of people don't know how to spend money properly. I've said many times that people tend to think about where to spend money they haven't earned yet. In this case, I advise evaluating future purchases not in terms of money, but in the number of hours you spend earning that money. Ask yourself, how many hours a month do you work, and how much money do you earn with that? Calculate how much an hour of work is worth and compare it to the price of what you want to buy. If you earn 10,000 reais but want to buy a new Tesla worth at least 300,000 reais, question whether it's worth it. Before you start saving for it, it's important to keep in mind that I encourage people to plan all earnings and expenses regardless of how much they earn or spend. The problem with $1 million is that it's a lot of money. You have to keep track of it, or it will simply disappear and you won't even know where it went. The second habit is to let money work for you. Instead of storing a little extra money in a piggy bank, you need to understand how the investment mechanism works. If you simply save your money, it will decrease as inflation reduces the real purchasing power. To avoid this, at the very least, you should transfer the money into a savings account with interest rates higher than inflation. But that's not enough. To make money, you need to invest it. But you need to consider different investment options to avoid losses. Saving doesn't necessarily mean investing your money in stocks. Start today by understanding the investment mechanism itself. I assert this. Set aside time regularly to learn about finance. Read news about the subject every day. Instead of scrolling through Facebook or Instagram in the morning, spend 10 to 20 minutes on useful reading and analyze what's happening with stocks daily. It's true that the return on stocks of US tech giants like Facebook and Google is 30% per year. Isn't it great that social networks can not only consume your time, but also provide a wealth of information? Before continuing, I'd like to ask you to support this video by giving it a thumbs up. After all, your activity can help more people learn about this useful financial information. The third habit is working in unusual conditions. This advice may seem quite strange coming from me, though I myself am an avid evaluator of world market situations while sitting in a McDonald's, not in my office chair. I've always associated money with major problems that needed solving. For that, you need to be able to see things from a different angle. A good confirmation of this is the story related to Albert Einstein. In 1905, Einstein published 4 scientific papers that changed the foundations of modern physics and our understanding of space, time, and matter. Interestingly, he didn't write them in a physics lab or his office, but in the Swiss patent office. Working in such an environment allowed Einstein not to be fixated on laboratory methods. If you read what everyone else reads, you'll think like everyone else. And if you think like everyone else, you won't be able to bring anything new or unique. Be curious, seek obscure sources, and study what no one else has studied. This will be truly valuable to others. I'm known for my simple but profound financial wisdom. I believe people usually spend their money on absolutely stupid and unnecessary things, thus blocking their path to success. To correct these common financial mistakes, you can drastically change and become wealthy. First, poor people often neglect personal development. I believe the best investment you can make today is in yourself. Improving your skills and getting a quality education can significantly increase your income. While others look for knowledgeable individuals, they often don't have time to educate themselves. They want to find someone who already knows what to do, and that person is willing to pay very well for it. If you want to be self-sufficient, business and process competency will never be excessive. When starting your own business, your knowledge and skills are assets no one can take away from you. Try to gather as much as you can. Using credit cards is the second mistake all poor people make. Of course, credit cards can be convenient and useful, especially when you want to buy something and don't have enough funds. But credit card interest rates eclipse absolutely any benefit. If you forget to pay your debts on time, sit down and calculate how much you might spend in a year to pay off all your credit card debts. I recommend cutting this part of your expenses. First, you'll stop spending more than you earn and save a good amount of money, which can be used for your education, for example. Bars and restaurants are one of the most problematic practices. If you've decided to get rich, you should forget about this type of luxury, especially in the phase where you're walking toward financial freedom. While we are all human and socializing and having fun is an important part of our emotional well-being, your financial part will benefit if you give up these luxuries. Unused gym memberships are another expense for the poor. Did you know that statistically, 80% of people who buy a membership quit going to the gym? Nowadays, cheap offers from gym chains are very common, claiming you can buy an annual or semi-annual membership at a very attractive price. In the end, most people stop going to the gym. It may seem like you saved a lot by buying a cheap membership, but in reality, you lost by not using it. I encourage leading an active lifestyle, but warn against this type of expense. If you're one of those people who bought an annual membership and then stopped attending, first try exercising for free at home or outdoors, or consider a monthly membership that forces you to train that month. Subscription services are also a financial mistake of the poor. Regularly check and control what you're subscribed to. Often, services offering a promotion require you to provide your credit card information. Then, when the free trial period ends, they charge unexpectedly. Take the opportunity to cancel automatic renewals. Then, forget again, and you'll be charged again. Control your subscriptions. If you have something on offer, set a reminder to disable the renewal at the end of the offer. The following financial mistakes are the fundamental downfall of many people. Pay close attention to them. But before that, give this video a thumbs up if you want to achieve impressive financial success. This thumbs up will be the first, yet most important, step on the path to wealth. One mistake is gambling. While it may seem like a shortcut to increasing income, I emphasize the importance of understanding the odds of success in gambling. I encourage people to make financial decisions that benefit their lives in the long term instead of focusing on short-term wealth options. Many people have gotten burned doing exactly that. It's good to stop when you're lucky, and this process can happen repeatedly. It's important to be able to stop. I'll also mention smoking, as a simple calculation can show an amount of thousands of rees. I'm known as one of the greatest investors of all time, which means I know what to do to multiply my capital. It's important to mention that besides practical financial advice, I emphasize important human qualities that need to be developed if you truly want to be rich. Speaking to students, I once said, from every paycheck, save and use programs that show the percentage of your monthly expenses in different product categories. Never lose money. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. It may seem like a strange recommendation. After all, almost no one thinks losing money is a good idea, but it's very wise and practical advice. Avoiding risk as much as possible is essential to being successful and living happily. Avoid risk whenever you can. To be successful and live happily, never risk what you need for what you want. I myself follow this rule and have never made risky investments. The difference between successful people and those who are truly successful is that those who are truly successful say no to almost everything. Another suggestion: my company always has about $20 billion in cash, ready to be used at any moment. This may seem irrational and goes against the general principle of finance, which is to invest money and not keep it under the mattress. But it's what saved my company during the 2008 crisis. Money, for a company, is like oxygen for the body. You never think about it when you have it, but you only think about it when you don't. When you don't have it, dollars are, in a way, more reliable than checks. This rule is especially important for those with irregular income, unnecessary debts, credit cards, installment loans, mortgages. All of this will lead to a day when loan payments exceed expenses and there's no money left. I've seen many people fail because of alcohol, but I've also seen many go bankrupt due to an excessive desire to spend. If you're smart, you can make money without credit. Pay attention to small expenses. I always pay attention to small expenses and only trust frugal people. An interesting case that made me reflect on small expenses occurred in China. There, my friend Bill Gates and I went to a local McDonald's to have a coffee. I insisted on paying the bill, and to everyone's surprise, I pulled out some discount coupons I had brought from the United States to partially pay for the meal and save money. Think in terms of a decade, not a month. Most people make the same mistake of trying to make the most of the present moment. Don't seek quick profits. Successful investing requires time, discipline, and patience. No matter how talented you are or how hard you work, some things take time. You can't have a baby in a month by getting 9 women pregnant. Think in terms of decades, gradually accumulating the necessary amounts for your children's education or your retirement. Read everything you can about finance. Go to bed at night smarter than when you woke up in the morning. Much of my work as an investor involves minimizing risk and reducing costs. And what's the biggest risk for a normal person, not a financial expert? It's when you don't know what you're doing. The more you learn about money and its laws, the greater your financial literacy will be. You'll be able to manage your money better and know how to make the most of it, no matter how much you have. Money isn't everything. Some material things have made my life happier, but if you have too many, they will do the opposite. I wouldn't give up a plane, but half a dozen houses are a problem. In my opinion, it often happens that a large number of possessions start to own the owner. Therefore, don't forget about other equally important values, such as health. Without it, success is impossible. The same goes for friends. I consider my friends to be the most important after health. Be brave. In 1951, when I was under 20 years old, I took a train to Washington, D.C. and knocked on the door of the headquarters of GEICO Insurance Company, where Benjamin Graham, my future mentor, worked. My bold appearance in Graham's office led him to give me a 4-hour lecture about the insurance industry. Graham became a consultant for GEICO, and I remained connected to the company for years afterward. Today, Berkshire Hathaway, my company, owns GEICO, and Berkshire's insurance interests are what I call one of the company's crown jewels. If I hadn't dared to show up at GEICO that day, 72 years ago, none of this would have happened. Boldness has its rewards. Make tough decisions early. Berkshire Hathaway's main market was textile factories. I had supported them for many years, but in 1985, I sold the factories because the business was no longer profitable. It was a tough decision for me, but important for future success. For example, it's more profitable to give up expensive vacations and invest in a retirement fund. The path to financial success for any wealthy person is paved with tough decisions. Before sleeping, almost all poor people fail to do this: planning. Every night, before going to bed, write a list of the most important things you need to do in the morning to achieve success. Analyze what you did during the day, draw conclusions, and adjust your direction. Write down the tasks, and in the morning, in your head and on a piece of paper, you'll have a ready-made plan. By fulfilling it, indestructible success awaits you. This is your main channel about finance and wealth mindset. Subscribe now and inevitably become rich.